Hi, Jen with Wed Photography Coach, and I help wedding photographers to market to their ideal brides and to book them. Today, we're going to talk about productivity, and I am going to give you tips that will help you to be a much more productive entrepreneur. Are you ready? Here we go. My first tip is to cut out distractions. It's not easy, but one way that I do that is by turning my phone on silent. And when I'm trying to work on something specific, what I do is I close all the windows except the one I'm working in. And I turn off my notifications on my computer. And that's the only way that I can cut out distractions. I also don't work on something important when I need to cut out distractions at a time when my family is home, because mom is always the first thing I hear when my kids come home or my husband comes home. He's like, Jen, blah, 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 blah. And so I'm constantly being pulled in multiple different directions, as I know all you moms out there can totally and fully understand. So cut out distractions. My second tip is to use time blocking. And you want to do time blocks when you are most productive. So for instance, if you're a night owl, you don't want to block out time at like 5 to 7 in the morning. That's probably not going to be very productive. And if you're really productive in the mornings, you probably don't want to be doing a specific time block for just after lunch, because you might start to be feeling that wanting a nap feeling. So definitely do time blocking in the times that make the most sense to when you are most productive. And then you don't want to do time blocks more than like an hour to 3 hours. And even within those 1 to 3 hours, you want to take a 2-minute break every 30 to 45 minutes. And I actually set my alarm, my timer. I say, Alexa, set a 20-minute timer. 20 minutes, she says. So I do that when I'm working from home, because she will start alerting me, and then I'll get up and go to the bathroom, or I'll get up and go get some water, or I'll get up and eat lunch, or I will take 5 to 10 minutes to do something, and then I come right back to exactly what I'm working on. Time blocks are amazing. And I don't remember who I was watching, but I forget where I heard this from, but the analogy was phenomenal, and I'm going to share it with you. So my youngest is still in high school, and he has a block schedule in school, but anybody who went to school knows this. So you're in high school and the bell rings, and then you go in, you sit down, you open your science book and your science for the next 45 minutes to an hour and a half, whatever the school time frame is. And you're all science teachers, science books, science papers, science notes, science, and you don't have your cell phone on, right? Because you're going to get in trouble. Then the bell rings. Then you go, you look at your cell phone, you do some things on your cell phone, you talk with your friends, you get a snack or you eat lunch, whatever it is. And then the bell rings. And then you go to your next class, which is math. And the bell rings and the class starts. Now, from when that first bell rang, which told you start preparing for math, then you walked toward the math class, you got out your math book, the bell rang, you're in math class. You're math teacher, math book, math papers, math everything. Again, you don't have your cell phone out if you're doing it right. And essentially on and on and on. So when you do your time blocking, only do one particular type of task during that time. So today I'm filming 3 videos. Those videos will release over the next 3 weeks, but I got my eyelashes on, I straightened my hair, I put a little lipstick on, I change my shirt for every video, but I do videoing for the next hour and a half. I'm videoing. Then with my next time blocking, I'm going to be editing, uploading, whatever I'm doing in that situation. So you want to have time blocks that are effective, that are at the time that's good for you, and that you're going to have like-minded tasks so that you can get a lot done in a short period of time. My third tip is to make lists. You can do this electronically, you can do this on a piece of paper, you can do this in Trello, you can do this however you do it. If you have a paper planner or an electronic planner, doesn't matter. But I suggest that you make this list of the things you're going to accomplish the next day and what your day is going to look like and what the time blocks are going to be the night before. So I will get ready for bed, wash my face, whatever, get ready to put on the TV because my husband and I like to watch TV before we go to sleep. And then I will make my list of everything I'm going to accomplish tomorrow. Now, I have a ton of stuff, but I look at all the stuff I write down because I know I'm never going to get through all of it. And I list 3 tasks or 3 things, 3 time blocks, whatever, that I am going to absolutely get done no matter what. No matter what. And I put those at the top of my list. And then all the other stuff is there. And then the next night, when I wake up, I know the top 3 things I've got to do and when I'm doing them, and I make sure those get done no matter what. If something's going to fall, it's going to be some of those other items. Those other items then transfer to my next list, the next page, or the next box on Trello, list, whatever the cards, whatever you call them. And my day starts again. And I do this. If I don't make that list the night before, my next day sometimes ends up being Netflix and editing. And while as a wedding photographer, I of course need to do editing, but I also have to work on my Wed Photography Coach business. So I have to make sure I make those lists for myself or nothing's getting done. In fact, put in the comments below what your favorite list making, how you like to make lists, electronic, paper, what systems you use. I would love to have that info. My 4th tip is accountability. And accountability comes in many different ways. It comes in my list because I know if I have 10 things that I needed to get, not beyond my top 3, but the 10 things that I need to get done, if I get 5 of them done, then that's a success. But if I get none of those done except the 3 things, at least I've moved my business forward. But then accountability wise, I know I didn't do maybe enough for what I was working on. And that's one way of accountability. But the next and the most effective way of having accountability is to say it publicly on a Instagram or Insta story. Tell your best friend, tell your husband. I have a sort of an accountability buddy, Susan, hi. She and I typically work on something every single week. We have scheduled time to meet and work on stuff. And she's my accountability buddy because I will tell her I need to get something done. And you bet your sweet bottom, she is going to ask that thing the first time I see her. Did you get that done? And then I can make a plan to make sure that I get that done. So accountability is important. Tip number 5 is the power of no. Sometimes my day will go awry, not because I'm lazy and I don't do everything on my list, but because I have my teenage kids, my adult kids, my husband, my friends, people asking for me either to help them or to maybe go to the movies or go out for a drink or go get a lunch. And I know if I'm going to go get a lunch, my workday is not going to go or be as productive because it's going to be a really long lunch. And because I work for myself, I don't have that hour and then I'm back at work. So there is a power in saying no, and it's really hard. But what my advice is to say, let me think about it. I've got a lot to get done today. Let me get back to you in the next hour and let you know what my time is. Or let me get back to you tomorrow if I could go next week and do blah, blah, blah. Or let me see if I can structure my work schedule so that we can go catch that movie, because movies are my favorite thing. But there's times when you're going to need to say no. And if you don't hardly ever say no, then maybe now's the time to practice. Practice saying no and saying, oh, I'm sorry, I can't. Like that feels so horrible, but it'll make your business so much better sometimes. So the power of no. And tip number 6 is my favorite and also the one I have the hardest time doing. Tip number 6 is to delegate. Delegate. If you have work that you A, don't like, B, have a hard time doing it, C, don't have the skill set, or D, don't have the time, find somebody else that can do it for you. There's so many ways to work with others. Sometimes a friend can do it for you. Sometimes you can pay someone to do it. You can get a person online who wants some extra work, and it's worth the money and probably will be better work, because if you hate something, you're not going to do it as well, probably. Learn to delegate. Every year, and when I'm planning my year out, I look at all the things that I need to accomplish. And the last step in my planning, the last step in my goals for the next year is to identify one thing that I can delegate. And it may be that I delegate it just for a month, or it may be that I'm going to delegate it out permanently, but I find one thing that I can delegate because it's a good muscle to have as an entrepreneur, because we just can't get it done. We can't get it all done. Well, I hope that these tips helped you. Please definitely subscribe to my channel. Click the little bell so that you are notified when my next video comes out. I do videos every week, and I love to help wedding photographers. If you have any ideas of things that you would like me to make a video on, please put those in the comments below. I want to make the videos that you want to watch, so let me know. Have a great day and work on that business. Bye.